Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Thursday the 12th of August 2021. In today's Millwall news we have this. It's Gary Rowett talking about vaccines. So let's just read this. It's from news@den.co.uk. Millwall boss outlines stance on COVID-19 vaccinations for players after disrupted pre-season. Millwall boss Gary Rowett said some of the squad and most of the staff have had their vaccinations and the club were encouraging players to get their jabs. The Lions' pre-season preparations were disrupted, with several players having to self-isolate after they were pinged as close contacts of someone who had tested positive for COVID, as well as positive tests in the squad. Last season, Rowett and his staff had to self-isolate for 10 days, leaving Alex Pierce and Sean Williams in charge for 2 games. Some Lions players are still building up their fitness after spending a chunk of their pre-seasons at home rather than on the training ground. But from August the 16th, next Monday, adults who are fully vaccinated and under 18s in England won't have to self-isolate if a close contact tests positive for COVID. And I'm pretty sure there's something else missing from that as well. If you can take a test as well. You take a test, and if it's negative, then you can crack on with your day. I believe that's the case as well. Millwall played Portsmouth, unless they change it. They keep bloody changing everything. Millwall played Portsmouth on Tuesday night, and Pompey boss Danny Cowley said last month their club were also trying to encourage their players to get vaccinated. Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer last week said some of his players were not sure over whether to be vaccinated. From October, the government are set to push through plans that events of more than 20,000 proof of having been vaccinated will be required. That would include staff and players. The PFA said players should be allowed to make their own choice. At the moment, it's their own decision, Rowett told News@Den. Of course, we're trying to encourage them to do it because it makes things a lot easier past August the 16th. If someone comes in close contact with someone who tests positive, they don't have to self-isolate. What we don't want is our players constantly having to self-isolate without actually having COVID. We've seen pre-season how difficult that is to manage in terms of the fitness perspective. It's down to the players. Quite a number of them have got it. Most of the staff have, but there will always be some players who feel for different reasons they don't want to have it yet. We've got a mixture. To minimise disruption, of course, we'd love all the players to be vaccinated, but I think most clubs up and down the country will have a mixture. Meanwhile, with the transfer window closing on August 31, Premier League clubs have started making moves in the market. That should mean young players from those clubs become available for loan as managers make space in their squads. Rowett said that things have started to pick up, yeah, a little bit, but for us, we're still in the same scenario where we need players to move in the other direction before we start trying to do more business. We've got some good targets, there are some good players available. We have to make good, sensible decisions as well. It's picking up pace. There's a lot more movement than there was a couple of weeks ago. So that's quite interesting. I was led to believe, not watching news. I don't watch the news. I get my news from other sources, and I don't watch mainline news. I was led to believe from looking around various websites and that's from August the 16th. If you get pinged on this thing, well, I don't know why you still have the app. If you haven't deleted it yet, what's wrong with you? But if you get pinged, you don't need to self-isolate. You can take a test, and if the test is negative for you, then you can just crack on with your day. But you'll have to take a test like every day for like 10 days. But they're giving them out for free, so what's the problem? So that's what I was led to believe. So I don't know what's going on here. But quite interesting. Could we have a situation from October that we travel away to a big stadium? What's a big stadium in our league? What is a big stadium in our league? West Brom. Is that got more than 20,000 fans there? Blackburn's 34, isn't it? So we go away to Blackburn, and some of our players won't be able to play because they haven't been vaccinated, and because Blackburn holds 34,000, that's going to be more than 20,000. So it's going to be an event with more than 20,000. Or will teams just shut off sections of their stadium and say to make it just under 20,000, so they can get through the rules? I could see clubs doing that if they like their star players. Say, I ain't touching this. If you're a star international footballer and you're playing in the Championship or in the Premier League, and you're worth millions and millions, why would you risk it? Why would you risk taking a vaccine? There's literally no benefit to you. Your chances of getting sick or getting ill from COVID, if you're a young professional athlete, is microscopic. But the chance of you getting a side effect from the vaccine is less than microscopic. So there's no net benefit to you. The only net benefit is coming from outside sources of the government trying to force sanctions on those who are not vaccinated, to try and tip the scales to make it more beneficial to you, because they're making it detrimental to anyone who hasn't got the vaccine. They won't be able to go to events, talking about nightclubs, all this thing, and you won't be allowed in. So then you're like, that's how they're trying to force people to do it. But we could see the situation where players won't be playing, and the PFA need to they make a lot of money. That the geezer there who's running the PFA, he makes a lot of money. He wants to put his finger out and do his fucking job, mate, because he needs to start saying something about this, because this is getting ridiculous now. Moving on now. So it's another paragraph in the story of Abdul Abdulmalik has been written, and it's not a happy ending for him or for Millwall. So this is from Football League World. They're a bit of a clickbaity website, but this is a kind of a transfer story, but it's more of an update on how he's getting on. So transfer saga concerning Millwall continues amid Southampton player decision as Arsenal and Swansea City circle. So what is this about? This is about Abdul Abdulmalik. So let's have a scroll down. Southampton turned down the chance to sign young forward Abdulmalik this summer after his trial period with the club's youth sides. Abdulmalik's future this summer has been something of a real saga, with the 18-year-old having turned down the offer of a new contract from the Lions. That has seen the forward attract plenty of transfer interest, and he's already been on trial with Portsmouth and Watford without being able to earn a deal with either club this summer. It has been reported that both Arsenal and Swansea City are interested in making a move for Abdulmalik at some stage during the transfer window. Well, now they've kind of got that a bit wrong, because Swansea City have already made a move. They made a bid of I think it was 210, maybe £240,000, and Millwall said that was a derisory offer. So okay, so Swansea City have made a bid. Will Millwall go back and take that offer from Swansea? Will Swansea come back in with a little bit more? Don't know, but apparently it's the only offer we've had. It's quite a bit weird, because they haven't had him on trial. Portsmouth have had him on trial, Watford have had him on trial, Southampton have had him on trial. But Swansea City didn't have him on trial, or maybe they did, I don't know. It wasn't made public, and they're the ones who made the bid. So Southampton have been the latest club to hand the 18-year-old a trial, and Abdulmalik had managed to register a goal for the Saints B team during his period with the club. I believe he scored 2 actually against Tottenham, AFC Tottenham. It was believed that if he had been handed a deal, he would have gone straight into the Premier League's club's under 23. So he's 18 years old, but he's going to go in the under 23s. However, despite that, Hampshire Live have now reported that the Saints have decided against handing him a deal, and that means that Abdulmalik will once again be aiming to find the club that will offer him a contract this summer. This has been a very difficult transfer saga, really, for Millwall and Abdulmalik, and at this stage, you cannot help but wonder how much simpler things would have been had he accepted the offer of a nil deal that was put to him by the Lions. Millwall will be invested in this saga till the 18-year-old finds himself a new club, because they are entitled to a fee due to his age. That means that they will be hoping he can find a new club as soon as possible, so that they can move on and start the proceedings of attempting to recoup some money for the attacker. And it seems that Abdulmalik remains a player in demand, but he has now yet to convince 3 clubs to sign him after a trial period with them. There are numerous examples of players being rejected constantly and then still proving to be assessed at another side who eventually take a chance on them, but he possibly will be getting concerned at this point. Both Arsenal and Swansea have been mentioned as potential destinations for the attacker this summer, and this might be opening the door for some of those to now take a look at Abdulmalik. It does not seem as though the attacker situation will be sorted anytime soon, and therefore Millwall will have to be prepared to wait a little longer to know what is happening with the 18-year-old. And talking about the previous story that we were speaking about, what Gary Rowett said at the end of that about signing players. Now, if Abdulmalik leaves and the club that signs him pays the money rather immediately, or I think they have to do it over 2 years, so that's extra money in the budget. That's extra money that could be going towards a player Millwall signing that actually wants to play for Millwall. So I think it's in everyone's interest that this gets completed, and it's like I said in the last update I did on this, it's kind of getting kind of sad now. He's kind of stuck, and the thing with it is, because if it goes to tribunal, the reason why it's going to be a lot of money, because he's been capped. I think he's been capped for England at either under 17s or under 18s, so that's going to boost that up quite a lot. So that's why clubs aren't really getting involved with him, because the compensation will be quite high because of that. And it's just yeah, it's just getting really sad now. He's kind of trapped. He's like a prisoner of fortune. And some would say, well, serves him right for turning his back on the club, but at the end of the day, you know, if he doesn't want to be here, doesn't want to be here, let him go and sign for somewhere else. Just take the offers that you can get for him, the best offer, and just move on. Let everyone move on. I think he's going to be turn out to be another Cherno Samba. Yeah. Quite often these players who are these wonder kids, a lot of them don't make it through. And even ones who do, it can still go wrong for them. I don't know if you've Michael Johnson, who was at Manchester City. Like, he basically became a squad player, gained like 5 stone, got paid out of his contract, and like there's like pictures of him like queuing up in the outside in the kebab shop, and he's like friggin' 20 stone. He get the money ruins you. The money ruins him. But anyway, moving on. So I'm going to finish today's video with this. This is from Carabao Cup Twitter, and Scott Malone got in the team of the week for the Carabao Cup team of round 1. So that's nice, isn't it? That is nice. Yeah, pretty decent. He did play very well. No place for Saville though, who actually got man of the match according to WhoScored.com. In Tuesday's game, but Malone is in there, so there you go. And that is it for today's Daily Meal. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.